staying with Republic, and we are now getting you a Republic exclusive. Details that have emerged and have been accessed by Republic TV senior news editor Shravan Sen, who has in fact accessed these details that tell us about the connection with the ISIS India link to the Sri Lanka blast mastermind. Sources are telling Republic TV that Lanka bomber allegedly travelled to India and spent time in Kochi. It's a four-part expose in which we tell you about the bomber, the mastermind, the suspects and their link to the Kannur and Coimbatore ISIS module. This is a Republic exclusive where it tells us about the Indian link to the Lankan mastermind. Sources from the MHA that have told us about how the Lankan bomber could have travelled to India, and in fact this ISIS threat is much bigger than we had even imagined. Sensational details that have emerged, and NIA now, even as they are investigating into all these links, you would remember of the raids that were conducted in Coimbatore and how 5 people have been detained. The big question being that did these Lankan bombers travel to India? Now, as per the details we are learning from our sources in the MHA, that these attackers could have spent time in Kochi, and not just this, even their families could have travelled to Kochi. In fact, the mastermind of the Sri Lankan blast, Hashim, could have entered India. The NIA, of course, probing all these details, of which the investigation is now underway. These are details that have been accessed by Republic TV, sources who tell us of how the mastermind behind the blast in Sri Lanka had travelled to India. These are critical details on the ISIS. He in fact could have travelled to the southern part of India, and his family who had also travelled to Kochi. Not just this, he was also trying to radicalize the youth, and Facebook primarily was his medium. It is a 4-part exclusive, the 4-part expose that we are getting for our viewers, where we tell you about how the bomber and his family frequently visited Kochi. The agency strongly believe of how Hashim who had masterminded the attacks, had visited India. And let me straight away go across to our senior news editor Shravan Sen, who has accessed all these details. Shravan, break this down for us.
Well, 3 important parts to this entire expose that we have been carrying out. First, to begin with, the spice traders family, the very family which actually made international headlines because their 2 sons were basically involved in the Easter attack. Now we are given to understand they traveled to Kochi since 2000. They were frequently traveling to Kochi since 2006. In fact, the family used to stay in the same hotel in Kochi. What is still not known at this point in time, that was this trip only restricted to business purposes, or there is something more to it. Secondly, with regards to the key conspirator, that is Zahran Hashim, it now turns out that there is an India link which has essentially emerged. Zahran Hashim, in fact, did travel to India through sea route, and it was done in an illegal manner. What the NIA doesn't know at this point in time is that when did he travel to India and which are the states he had travelled to. This is something that is still being investigated by the National Investigation Agency. Important to point out is that he does have followers in India. In fact, Riaz Abu Bakr, who was arrested a few months ago by the National Investigation Agency, who's part of the ISIS Kasargod module, he was in touch with Zahran Hashim. He did get in touch through Facebook. He had certain queries. He has admitted that he did actually receive a response, but that response came in from Zahran Hashim's followers in Sri Lanka. As far as Zahran Hashim's videos, which went viral here in India, especially in 3 states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, as well as Karnataka, especially the 3 modules you're looking at, 3 ISIS modules, Kasargod, as well as Kannur and Coimbatore, where Zahran Hashim's videos were essentially recovered when the NIA was investigating ISIS Coimbatore module. We're given to understand that these videos of Zahran Hashim were essentially an attempt to radicalize the youth, and in fact, he had travelled to India perhaps with the same motive. This is exactly what the NIA is probing at this point in time.
Absolutely, Shravan, and this coming at a time when the NIA has also conducted raids in Coimbatore. 5 suspects who have been detained, and we also wait to get an official word on what revelations have come in on that front. For the moment, thank you for joining us. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this.